Facebook. There we go. And you're on. Excellent. Good morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, July the 3rd. OMG, one day away from Independence Day. I hope you guys have really good plans. Does anybody have really good plans for the 4th of July this year? I would love to know. In Minnesota, we have limited options. So sometimes people, and I'm not saying it's us, but sometimes people drive over to Wisconsin to get dealios. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. So I'm just saying. And happy Independence Day. Happy. It's so good to see you guys jump on in. Good to see you. Very, very cool. So housekeeping. So if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay and where you're coming in from. And if you are like on YouTube and stuff, you can subscribe. That would be amazing. And always share out if you feel like this is information that is helpful for somebody. Because the whole point of everything is, and I kind of said this, I said this last night in my story, so I'm going to say it again. And it might be a little crass, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like the reason why I get so excited when I'm talking to people in my inbox and they're telling me about, because this happened twice yesterday, just talking to people about turning back their insulin resistance, talking to people about how, because I'm Italian, obesity and type 2 in my family is very broad. I was raised by an insulin dependent dad. So this was my world. And I thought, and I have to do a reel on this because if people are still thinking that this is a genetic situation, and I'm not saying that there are not predispositions, but I am saying, let's just be realistic. And the first time that I ever thought about that was actually, I don't know what book it was, but this is quite a long time ago. My dad died when he was 63, by the way, and I was only 30. But I heard that type 2 was not in every nation. So how can this possibly be only genetic? And I'm like, okay, I'm tracking, I'm listening. So anyways, I get so excited when people start talking to me about turning things around, their A1C coming down from, let's see, what was her testimony in the last 6 months of taking the trio? Her A1C went from a 24 to the 8s. People's morning sugars going from the 180s to the 150s, all of these different pieces, right? I get so excited because it's a little like giving the finger to the system. And I feel like that's really why I get super passionate. I know people are like, golly, you only talk about one thing and you're super passionate. I'm like, yep. Because I think it's criminal that we are being given information or not being given information that can sometimes be super basic. That's why I like to talk about simple things like, nutritional deficiencies and things like that. And we're going to do that today. I have one mineral that I'm going to talk to you about today because somebody made a comment on my TikTok yesterday that made me go and research it. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Kristen. Good to see you. Yay. Yay. So she said something on my TikTok live yesterday and I went, I'm going to go research that because again, I'm not a noisy bottle. I'm not a doctor. I'm an Italian girl who figured it out. And in my figuring it out, I was able to completely avoid type 2. I'm the only one in my family that did. And I was able to lose 3 sizes in my 50s post my cycle stopping because insulin is a hormone and women aren't being talked about insulin being a hormone. So the other piece of housekeeping, I was saying this on my story this morning. I want to do a 4th of July, little bit of a flash sale. And if you're not already a customer, you probably don't care. So just hold on for 30 seconds and I will go ahead and just move right into my mineral deficiency conversation. But for those of you who are, last spring when we had a lot of inventory issues with the trio, those are the 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity, I inventoried and I don't have a ton of it left. And because I go through it as well. So just saying, and I'll continue to go through, doesn't matter. Anyway, my point being that I thought, what if I did a flash sale? And so anybody who places an order of if you place an order of $100 or more, you can order from me the trio and I'll give you 20% off and free shipping to your house because I do not want you to incur free shipping twice. And then I said in my stories, there's my balloons on Instagram. If you're smart, you could or get free shipping anyway at $139 and then get free shipping from me too. And then if you're double smart, you could set up an auto ship. You probably already have one. You could have your auto ship fire tomorrow, get free shipping, get double points, and still get free shipping from me. So there are layers. I was sharing in my story about how I was, good morning, Magda. Good morning, sunshine to you too. I was raised by an Italian dad whose dad was an immigrant from Italy. And so he literally would buy the Christmas tree the night before Christmas Eve, or he would buy fruit the day after it had been overly ripe, to get the deal. So I'm a deal person. You may not be, and that may not resonate with you like at all. But if I don't tell people the deals, like that's my own thing. Hi, Anne. Good to see you. Listen, Anne, my middle name is Anne, and it's spelled the same way. So we are in good company. I like that a lot. So if anybody needs any information about the 4th of July flash sale, it'll be today and all the way to midnight tomorrow. Place a $100 order on my site and you can get the trio 20% off with free shipping from me, and I'll ship it directly to you. Yeah, I know. Isn't that fun? I love that. You don't see that spelling all that much. I have a really good friend and her name is spelled the same way. All right. So let's go. I like talking a lot about nutritional deficiencies because it's not freaking rocket science. And this is not a terminal diagnosis. All we know is that this is frustrating. We've been told that it's genetic only. We've been told that the only answer is scripts. And we've been told that if you don't have enough scripts, you should just get more scripts. And if you don't have enough, then you should just up the dosages. I mean, that's kind of how this goes, but we're never really talked to about as much, in my opinion, just from experience and talking to people. I will do that, Cheryl. What do you want? You can tell me what you want in your cart. Okay. And the trio's coming from me. You can order whatever you want for $100 or more. So if you need a cart, I'll make you a cart. And so basically, when we're only given that information, I mean, it's shocking to me, some of the conversations that I have with people as to maybe, they're asking, what kind of alternative things could I do? What kind of, supplementation could I do? And no, we don't know of any, nothing to see here. And it's like, this is ridiculous. What if simple things could be fixed and changed? It's why the trio actually gets the results that it gets, because you're filling in some nutritional gaps. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm new to your face, this happens a lot, right? Because we have a lot of FYPs going on now, even with Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people can find you as strangers. And so go over to my IG, and at the top, there's a pink highlight bubble, has the testimonies of the trio. My contact information is everywhere. Reach out to me and ask me, like, you talked about this on your live, tell me more, or send me a cart or whatever, okay? Good morning, Brenda. Woohoo! Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, here we go. So mineral deficiencies is actually a very common conversation that I have. And somebody brought up on my live yesterday a copper deficiency. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. A copper deficiency. What's that? It's your Friday, Brenda. That means you're going to have a long weekend. I like it a lot. Good morning, Tammy. Oh, you guys are just popping on. This is so fun. So fun. So when she said copper, I thought, oh, I need to figure this one out because I haven't done a lot of studying on it. This is very fascinating. So a copper deficiency interferes with insulin function through multiple mechanisms. And remember, these simple deficiencies, they're just happening because we've changed our food supply, we've changed our soil, we've changed literally because we eat so much processed foods and everything is enriched. Not everything gets actually enriched. And it actually means nothing. It's butt kiss. It really means nothing. Like, let's just be really honest. All of their enriching is not really enriching us. Good morning, Anna. I am so good this morning. I'm so good. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, Independence Day. We're going to do some fireworks out at my daughter's 5-acre farm. I'm so excited. Very, very fun. Oh, thank you, Anna. I've had this one forever. This one has been like years now. But anyway, so including, these are the ways that a copper deficiency is messing with your insulin resistance. Oxidative stress. This is why you need your antioxidants. Inflammation. Impaired enzyme function. Really interesting, right? Very interesting to me in my brain. Disrupted iron metabolism and issues with collagen formation. And we want collagen, right? These factors collectively impair insulin signaling. So it's messing with the signaling of your insulin and reduce the body's ability to use glucose effectively, contributing to the development of insulin resistance. Ensuring adequate copper intake through diet or supplements under medical guidance, of course, they're going to say that, can help maintain proper insulin function and metabolic health. Who knew that? Did you guys know that? I would love to know if anybody already knew that that copper as a mineral, if you're deficient, it's messing with your insulin signaling. Super interesting. And I actually already take a couple of supplements that happen to have copper in them. One is my, I take a zinc and holy basil. Remember the other day I was talking about adaptogenic herbs. So if you're on my site and you look at, I think it's button number 5 on my site, the zinc and holy basil is there. If you look at it, there's a ratio, a proper ratio, because you can have a bad ratio of zinc to copper. And if you have too much zinc, it takes away from your copper. So you have to be careful. You have to trust who you're getting your supplementation from. Okay. That's really what I'm trying to say in the end of that one. But then I also like in my daily, right? In my daily, I have some copper in there too. So anyway, let's just talk about what this does and why this is messing with you. And, you know, like some of the foods that you could be eating to take care of it. So these are some of the foods that are rich in copper. And maybe you're already eating them. I know that chocolate is on the list and I already do eat chocolate. Now it's Lily's chocolate, but nonetheless, chocolate is going to have copper in it. Kristen, good morning. Your sunshiny hearts are showing up on my screen. I love that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So chocolate is one food that has copper in it. Shellfish, oysters, crabs, and lobsters are excellent sources of copper. I did not know that. And recently I have not had an oyster, a crab, or a lobster. Has anybody? Like if you're from Maine, I'm so jealous because I actually, one of the things, because I live in Minnesota, I'm a tiny bit landlocked. So red lobster is not a great option. I'm just saying, come on. Like you want to go to the ocean and you want to get real seafood. We went on an Alaskan cruise with my mom right before we had her dementia diagnosis. And so anyway, praise God. That Alaskan king crab was, it was like candy. Like I think they had caught it that morning practically. It was phenomenal. Okay, so oysters, crabs, and lobsters, seeds and nuts. See, I knew there was a reason why I like nuts. I always talk about how I have to back off on the nuts because it really does, it hinders your weight loss. But sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, cashews, almonds, and hazelnuts they contain significant amounts of copper. I did not know that. Organ meats. Now, this is one, listen, if you are local to me, if you are local in Minnesota and you are within driving distance, I have some liver we get half a beef and I have liver in my freezer. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not, I don't like liver. However, liver, especially beef liver, which is what I have, is one of the richest sources of copper. I would like to know if anybody knew that one. That is fascinating to me. But I do have some liver to give away if you're local. Oh man. I don't know. My mom, about once a year, she would make liver, bacon, and onions. And I just never did get excited about that. And then some fruits like avocados and blackberries contain copper. And did you know that avocados are actually a fruit? They have a pit. So they are a fruit. And of course, you can take copper supplements and you can take a multivitamin. And they just say that be very careful as to how much you're taking. Make sure that you're using a reputable company. I always tell people, listen, you do not have to purchase your supplements through me. You do not. However, the supplements that I do offer, and I want you to do the same thing in your search, find supplements that are coming off of organic farms, find supplements that are third-party tested so that what is on the outside of the bottle is actually what's on the inside of the bottle and you don't have improper balances or ratios. And the third thing is that make sure that it's NSF certified. Those are all things that are super important in your supplementation because it's just not a regulated industry. And so unfortunately, fortunately in the United States of America, we actually have access to just a ton. We have access to almost freaking everything. I have spoken to so many people in Australia and the UK and India and I mean, like all over the world, and they can't get the same supplements that we have here because they can't. It's just an ingredient government conversation. Thank you, Kristen. You're so amazing. And so super blessed, right? But because there is not regulation, they can tell you whatever they want to tell you on the outside of the bottle. And then when they open it up, you don't even know that there's an imbalance from pill to pill, and there could be fillers and stuff like that. How can you tell if it's third-party tested and certified? Does it say it on the label? It should say it. You know what, Anne? I'm actually going to I'll do a little bit of research on that and then maybe answer that for you because it is such a big deal. It really, really is. And I'm trying to think I take a zinc and holy basil that has copper in it. I'm going to see if that's on my thing here. Hold on just a second. So my site is my first and last name.com. Okay, that's my site. And you'll know it's me because it has my before and after picture on it. Number 5, button number 5 has the daily. The daily would have copper in it. If you only want a women's daily, specifically for women, and the zinc and holy basil will have copper in it in a proper. Yep. And the zinc is actually immunity defense, but it's zinc and holy basil. Anyway, I'm trying to think if it says it on the bottle. I'm going to look and see it really quickly. I'm going to have to look up and see. NSF content certified. That's right on the, and that's why, to be really honest, because you have to think about this, and I bring this up a lot, and then I'll keep chatting about foods here. I chat a lot about the fact that when you can have NFL players take your line, that's very telling because they do so much testing, and if they are off, they can't risk being off on anything. You know what I'm saying? They have to be very careful. And so that's a really, really great. You have the women's vitamins, do you? And so Anna, do you have the daily or do you have the women's pack? The daily is just the daily, which is amazing all by itself, but the women's pack, it has 4 in 1 pack. So you're going to get your daily plus. So I would love to know which one that you have. But anyway, next picture, hold on. You can do blood tests, so copper deficiency is impacting insulin signaling. It's causing inflammation. It messes with your lipid metabolism. Abnormal lipid levels can contribute to the development of insulin resistance, for example. Elevated free fatty acids can interfere with insulin signaling and glucose uptake in muscle and adipose tissues. Enzyme function and energy metabolism. I thought that was super interesting because copper is a cofactor for enzymes involved in energy production, such as cytochrome C oxidase in the mitochondrial electron transport chain. So in your entire energy chain, it's affecting the entire energy chain if you have a deficiency. And then the iron metabolism, that was really interesting because think about it, if somebody's anemic and you're having a hard time with that, copper is essential for proper iron metabolism. Fascinating. And the formation of red blood cells. Copper deficiency can lead to anemia and other disruptions in iron metabolism and then collagen and connective tissues. So think about how that is with when we're talking about our joints and just collagen levels in our body and how they just decrease over time, etc. Well, what if you have a simple copper deficiency? It's just something to consider. Let me think here. These are some of the symptoms. Let's go through some of the symptoms. Peripheral neuropathy, tingling, numbness, or pains in the hands and the feet. Okay, so that's one symptom. One is myelopathy, degeneration of the spinal cord leading to muscle weakness and difficulty walking. That's obviously severe. Coordination issues, difficulty with balancing and coordination. See, you might think that that's then something completely different, right? Isn't that interesting? Hold on. Fatigue and weakness. You could have unintended weight loss, which I thought was interesting because that's obviously the opposite of what we talk about all the time. Gastrointestinal symptoms. And then basically in talking about metabolic symptoms, that's probably one that we talk about the most on this particular channel. We're talking about metabolic symptoms. My phone is being weird. Small, pale, red blood cells due to iron metabolism, often resistant to iron supplementation, insulin resistance, and increased risk of diabetes. That's what happens when you have glucose metabolism issues. And then the last one is skin changes. You can have depigmentation of the skin, making it appear pale or ashy, and your hair changing, premature graying of hair or hair loss. That, of course, I have no gray in my hair. I have to go get it done next week again. I'm on the schedule. It's such a very good invention. But I just thought that was super, super interesting. You have the women's, Anne. That is so wonderful. That is so good. And I think I missed. Nope, I didn't. Okay. I did not. I just thought that was super interesting. And so when I talk a lot about like, you don't have any grays either. Good for you, Anna. Yes. I don't, I had a moment in 2020. I did. I had a moment. And I thought, because my natural color is pretty dark. This is, I do now tint them a little bit, but that's pretty close to my natural color. It's, because I'm Italian. And I thought, what if I went gray? What if I did that? Because so many people were doing it. And, I do not like things that create maintenance. That's why I don't have my nails done. I did my nails for years and I'm like so over the whole nail thing. I don't even get my toes done anymore. I don't find it to be a pleasurable experience in general. And so why would I then want to maintain a non-pleasurable experience? Like, I do like to have bright toes in the summer as a Minnesotan. And so maybe sometime I'll go do that. But I don't like the whole gel process. I don't like the whole Dremel process. I don't like the process. And so even with my hair, I'm like, oh, God, you go and you get your hair done and it takes forever, right? I mean, this is just in my brain. And I'm like, I don't like things that create maintenance in my life. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just go gray. And I'm like, I did for a little while where we put more highlights in and stuff, and then I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And, and maybe it was just because the color on me just didn't look very great, right? And so I don't have anything against gray hair at all. I think gray hair can be incredibly beautiful. I just feel like maybe I had already made the decision that I never was going to. So I dipped my toe in. Maybe I'll dip my toe in further next time. Maybe that's what I'll do. If anybody has any ideas on that, that'd be great. But anyway, so that's what it is when you have a copper deficiency. And don't forget, you can fill that in with good foods too. Like, this is not one, I feel, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like one that's hard to fill in with different foods. And as opposed to, oftentimes we really do need to get some higher doses of something in order to offset. And so as far as I'm concerned, that's probably one of the pieces, but also too, if you're looking for supplementation, like I have a zinc that has copper in it, and I have the women's has copper in it, and that is very, very helpful. Fruits such as avocados and blackberries, chocolate, dark chocolate and cocoa powder have a high copper content. So, just go make yourself like a keto mug cake with chocolate, with cocoa. Shellfish, seeds and nuts, organ meats like liver. And again, if you're local, hit me up. And dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard provide a good amount of copper. You're making a keto mug cake today, Anna? Are you serious? That's awesome. That is one of my, I don't do it very often because, again, I'm always working to not overdo my nuts. This is just a me thing. If you are stalling in your weight loss, nuts and dairy, you can back off and you'll be happier about with your results. But every now and then, you just really want like a little cake or a little something. And that really does hit the spot with me quite a bit. And so I appreciate that. But anyway, so the flash sale today is, it's only for today and tomorrow through midnight. And that is because I'm going to shift some of my inventory that I have in my own home. And that has to do with the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. So anybody who places a $100 order today or tomorrow, you can then get from me a trio set at 20% off, and I'll ship it free. Okay. So you do that. And then I will go ahead and, I don't even know if I have enough. And I said it in my stories. I know somebody's going to ask me if they can order 2 at the 20% off. I will honor that as long as I have inventory to do it. I will honor that because somebody always comes in and they're a deal person. They're like me with my Italian grandpa getting the Christmas tree the day before Christmas Eve. I don't do that. But he was an immigrant. So he was always thinking about a deal. I mean, even the diamond on my wedding ring, I've been married almost, can you pay with a prepaid card? I don't know about that, Magda. I don't think so. I think it has to be Venmo or PayPal. I can do Cash App. I can do Apple Pay. I think it has to be something like that. But place an order on my site for $100 or more, and then I will do, and you can order anything. It doesn't have to be a trio. I need to be clear on that. You don't have to purchase a trio on my site and then get one from me. You can be purchasing, any, people do all sorts of stuff. Some of you girls you're taking some of you're using some of the skin nutrition. You're taking the botanicals that you're using in your supplements and you're using it on your skin. Some of you want the non-toxic cleaning supplies, etc. There are choices. But even the diamond in my wedding ring, been married almost 37 years in August. It's coming up fast. And it was wholesale. Like my dad was not, you don't buy things retail. I mean, this is kind of a funny story and then I'll let you go. But a couple of days before he died, I was home visiting. We were home. I came home like on Sunday night. And so Monday morning, I could see he was not looking great. 63 years old, you guys. He had spent 2 years on dialysis at this point. And he did not look good. His heart was not happy at all. And Thursday, I went to Kohl's. Does everybody have a Kohl's? Is that nationwide? I think that's nationwide. I went to Kohl's and I got this little jumper. And I came home and I said, I tried it on. I said, "Hey, Dad, look at this little jumper that I bought." And he goes, "Oh, did you get a good deal?" And I said, "Yeah, actually it was on sale." And he goes, "Did you get 2?" I am not even kidding you, you guys. That is my father in a nutshell. Son of an Italian immigrant. And so you always get the deal. So I'm always looking for a deal and I'm always trying to offer a deal because I know that there are other people out there that are just like me. And literally, you guys, and I know, but this was a long time ago, so it's okay. But the next morning he died. So the day before he dies, he's talking to me about getting a deal at Kohl's. And then the next morning, he went in for his dialysis appointment at the hospital, like he did for 2 years. And he went to the cafeteria and he signed a check for his lunch and he was in his chair and he just died. His heart just gave out. And that was all because of his type 2 diabetes. And I'm sorry, but in my opinion, and I'm very opinionated, all because of really, really, really poorly given information from the matrix for a very long time. He had a lazy Susan full of medication. I took the opposite direction. I have it right here. This is my lazy Susan right here of supplementation. I target it for exactly what I need. And I've done that now for over 10 years. And I'm still talking about it because you can't shut up an Italian girl. And now I'm 59 and I'm not on any meds and I don't have type 2 in sight and I never will because I know exactly how this works. So I'm not confused, right? And so I just took a different path and I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. including my mother, who was 100% Swedish, and it was never in her family line. People have got to hear that. If you have somebody in the profession, thank you, Kristen. Thank you. That's the skincare. It really is a good, yeah. Plus I don't eat sugar, so that helps. I don't eat sugar or grains, so I don't have a lot of inflammation, but it's the skincare. You can always ask me about it. You didn't hear the order deal, Brenda. The order deal is it's just today and tomorrow only, because I'm getting rid of inventory that I have from the spring on the trio. So you can place any order you want on my site for $100 or more, any order. Like it can be your cleaning, it can be, and you can ask me questions. You know me, I'll put a cart together for you, customized, and help you get the best deal you can get on whatever. It can be skincare, it can be whatever you want it to be. Or it can be a trio and you can double up, doesn't matter to me one way or the other. And then I will sell out of my inventory a trio 20% off, but I'll also ship it to you for free because I don't want you to incur an extra shipping fee. So that's what that is. So anyway, when it comes to getting information from the matrix that literally says, oh my gosh, if you do not get on this met, or if you do not get on this STATIN, like you're gonna pass away from, a heart condition. And because this is genetic and genetic only, and you are at such high risk. That's not how this goes. Why in the world would my mother be type 2 in her older years? Full blown type 2, right? In her older years. These are the questions that I've had for a really long time. But instead, her insulin resistance turned into dementia. And we took care of her for 5 years, my sister and I did. And that was a hard season. And there are a lot of you that are still doing it. I talked to you in my inbox about how you are now taking care of your elderly parents. And my heart goes out to you because it's a challenging journey. But it's very rewarding. But it can mess with like your cortisol. It can mess with your sleep. I remember having my mother, you're going through it right now, Anna. Yeah, you are. It's interesting, right? And if you're not sleeping, I remember having my mother in my home, right? And you are sleeping like how when you had a newborn baby. Not you're very, one ear is awake the whole night because you need to hear if they get up, if they fall, if anything happens, right? And so your insulin resistance can be up the next day. Your cortisol is up the next day. Maybe it's a very high stress level because you're maybe making emergency room trips or whatever it is. And my heart just really goes out to you. And when the season is done, just make sure, I'm giving you a piece of advice that is so nobody's even asking me. You're welcome, Brenda, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. When your season is done of being a faithful daughter to your parent or parents, run. Do what is in your heart to do and do it with speed. Do it with excitement. Run. And for me, it was really, I've always been building this business. So I've been doing it now for a long time, right? And I started social media a few years ago. But when my mom died a year ago in March, I knew that was my signal to now I'm very free to be able to do what it is that I need to do. And so even though I was already taking care of myself, I decided I'm going to another level. I'm going to make sure that I have all of the energy that I need. I'm going to have all of the mental clarity that I need. I'm going to prioritize my own health, my own sleep, my own everything. Because now I have grandbabies that are depending upon me to not pass away like my dad did when they are 6, 3, and 6 months old. Now I have a new mission and a new vision. So whatever it is that's in your heart, right? And I always tell people, I'll chat with you about making an extra stream of income and I will coach and I will help. but whatever it is for you, and that's not because that's my dream, but my dream is to have time freedom for my grandbabies. I've got stuff. I've got vision boards. I've got stuff, whatever. Oops. I'll have to put that back up. But I've got, because that season of being with your parents is a challenge. Taking care of them when they are elderly. It's an honorable, noble thing to do. It really, really is. This is my sister has somebody from Tanzania that comes a few times a year. My sister, if anybody's ever interested in a Tanzanian safari, my sister owns a safari company. FYI, I would love to get you information on that. Her partner, who is Tanzanian, he comes over. He'll be here in September. And, they just can't even believe it is stressful, Kristen. They cannot even believe that we even have facilities to put our elderly in. They would never, ever, ever, ever. First of all, they don't have the social structure, the economic structure to do anything like that, to provide assisted living or a nursing home. They don't have any of that because Tanzania is not the same, right? It's different. But they're like, what are you doing? Like, why would you put your parent somewhere else? And we're like, because they want to have, social time. They want to have, activities. They want to have friends. They want to have whatever. But when your parent has dementia, there are no friends. Do you know what I'm saying? There are no social activities that they're remembering from yesterday. So I don't know why I got on that tangent. Forgive me for just rambling, but it just gets so near and dear to my heart. There's so many of you that are dealing with elderly parents. And so I'm just telling you, the season will shift and it will take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself while you're doing it. Anna's doing that. Anna's taking care of herself. Let me tell you about Anna and then I'll jump off. Anna is taking care of a parent with dementia. Yep. And your mom passed away. Magda says yep, you lived it in 2016. I know it's challenging. So Anna's taking care of a parent with dementia that lives with her. And boy, my heart is just like, because like I said, I remember it. But you know what? Anna connected with me online. I don't know, maybe it was about a year ago. And maybe it was last fall. And I was teaching a lot of trading out, like doing recipes, especially on TikTok. And she decided she's a Latina. She is from the Latino community. And it's very similar to being Italian because we eat a lot of white stuff. We eat a lot of stuff that really just gets us into the ditch of insulin resistance. Like we just, bam, here we are. And then we can't lose our weight. And then we have to go on meds and all these things. And we don't want that, blah, blah, blah. So she decides to change out her pantry. She gets into my Facebook group. She changes out her pantry. She changes out her refrigerator. She changes out her habits. She's cooking for a parent with dementia. She changes the way she's cooking. This is a lot of what I did. And she's completely like, she's on the trio. She's on, I think she's just said the women's vitamins. I know you're on the purple pack. I know you're doing a lot of things, but she's doing it for herself so she can function at a higher level. And I just think that, you know what, if you don't prioritize yourself right now while you are the caregiver, then what the heck is going to happen when they're gone? Like ramp it up now. Don't wait. Don't have to undo things that maybe are harder to undo at the time. I feel like I navigated that season fairly well. But my weight did fluctuate a little more than I would have wanted it to, but that's okay. Like no shame in the game. And because it's stressful, right? So stress eating can come into play and all of these things. But I'm so proud of you, Anna, for taking on, not only taking care of a dementia parent, but also too, really prioritizing yourself in the end. If you do not prioritize yourself, if you allow food pushers to push you around and make you feel a certain way about not eating whatever they want you to eat tomorrow on the 4th of July, what does it matter? They're not going to remember that they were pushing you about food on Friday. Like they're not going to care. They're trying to satisfy something inside of themselves for that moment. So you just decide that you're going to take care of yourself. You decide you're going to get on a supplement routine. You decide you're happy you came across my life. It was a blessing. I know, Anna, it's just, you really have done such an amazing job. And I'm so proud of you for it because it's challenging to make those changes when you're in the middle of taking care of a dementia patient. Oh, Anne, I wish I had listened to you over 7 years ago. My mom passed away at 60. After years of chemo and radiation, and you were lost for a long time. Yeah. It's challenging. and we're never guaranteed another day. We're never guaranteed another day. And there's a story at some point I will share when I think I can share it without crying. Makes me tear up thinking about it. Happened to us recently. But you know what? Honestly, we're not guaranteed anything. So today I wake up and I don't ache. I'm 59 years old. I don't take any meds. I'm the only one that avoided type 2 in my family. So if I don't take meds, that means I'm not creating more nutritional deficiencies. That means that this is awfully close, whatever, it doesn't matter now. I've been on live for so long. I'm not creating more nutritional deficiencies. I know how to now supplement and target for me and what I need. This is why I talk to you guys about, like, I'll send you a cart with what you need, like the trio, maybe it's the trio plus, turmeric for inflammation or ashwagandha for your cortisol or whatever it is. Because don't buy things that you don't need. Don't just be willy-nilly on Facebook ads or Amazon finds. Get the things that you need for you. You'll know because you'll function at a higher level. This is how you'll know. You'll know because your A1C comes down or your insulin comes down or your weight finally decides that it's going to budge because you can't lose weight if your insulin and or your sugars are high. You'll know because you'll feel the inflammation come down. You'll know because you'll have a better sense of well-being because you started an adaptogenic herb. You'll know because your sleep is getting better. You'll know because you don't ache when you wake up. You'll know. And that's the way that you can target things for yourself and take care of you. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. And then what does it matter if then like my dad, this is where I get so passionate because he had such a crappy quality of life for the last 10 years. And then he's up and gone. Never to have given any of that Italian heritage to my children. Gone. I mean, it's so sad. And it was over something like she's saying that her mom had years of chemo and radiation. That is a terminal conversation. Insulin resistance is not. It's not. Cheryl, the purple packet, that's the, I just took mine, so I don't have one in here. 3 supplements inside of 1 packet. You can find it on my site. I'll tell you what button. It's, has 3 supplements inside of 1 packet. Basically, in the end, it has all of your 8B vitamins, time released, and 3 different adaptogenic herbs. And adaptogenic herbs help your body adapt to stress. And so I used it to help with my brain fog. That was my first thing. And then I didn't realize that it was going to balance out my hormones. And that's a whole nother conversation. But I sailed through menopause and I never had a hot flash. And I never knew any of this. I didn't know it was going to do any of that. Like this was me. Huh? What's an adrenal? Like that was me. It's on the 3rd button of my site. 3rd button. Good morning, Andrea. You received your trio yesterday. Woohoo! Do you take it on an empty stomach in the morning? So none of the 3 of the trio are fat soluble. And so you are able to actually, the short answer is it doesn't matter. You can take all 3 of them in the morning and then take all 3 of them at lunch. And then you can take that extra glucose one sometime later in the day. The glucose one will say on the bottle, take a half an hour before you eat. And that's because, but it's not because it won't work otherwise. It's because it's helping you with your appetite and your cravings. So if you're looking for that help, you need that help with your appetite and your cravings, then follow the bottle because you're like, I need to simmer things down before I sit down to my lunch. Then do that. But if it's going to keep you from staying on track, then don't worry about it. Does that make sense? Because really what you want here today, we spent all this time talking about copper deficiency, a mineral deficiency. Copper is not in there, by the way, but I'm just saying it's the trace minerals in that product that you want in your system because those are the ones that are helping with the insulin and the sugars. FYI, just to let you know. And then when you help your liver, you're helping your liver to metabolize or to govern your hormones, to govern the glucose in your blood, to help metabolize your fat, et cetera, et cetera. So you take the trio basically twice a day, but then you have one little extra glucose in the evening. Got balloons on Instagram. That glucose needs one little extra in the evening somewhere. And if it's before bed, take it before bed. It doesn't matter. It's not going to give you energy. It's not meant to do any of that. It's meant to keep your system going. Okay. You guys are saying nice things about me. Kristen, I feel the same way. I'm new, but she is so real. Kristen, you're so sweet. Thank you, Kristen. You're welcome, Anna, too. I know you guys are the best. You really, really are. You are such an amazing community of women. And the Facebook group, which I'm going to put a sign on my laptop. Some days I mention it more than others. But it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And there are over 4,000 of you now in there. And I do a challenge every month. And the next one is starting next Monday on the 8th. And I will go through information that's similar to this in the sense of like insulin resistance and you know, kind of, you know, my background and kind of what this looks like and what does it mean to be insulin resistant and to give you a bigger why to trade things out other than well, you just got to suck it up, buttercup, and have some bigger willpower and eat food you hate. That is not my message. It's contrary to that. And so get in there so that you can be encouraged and resourced every single month. And then you can have victory over the month and string months together and get results. You got to order the trio yesterday, but you need help to put it in as a customer. The lady on the phone. Oh. Okay, Linda, we're going to do it then. I will get on the phone with you, Linda, and help you do that. I'm trying to think. I have a feeling that maybe because you signed out as a guest, is that what that is? Mary Beth, boy, mom, thank you so much for the gifter badge. Oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the hearts. Magda. She says, I deserve every bit of praise. You are so sweet. You guys are just amazing. Okay, yep. And if you have any other questions, Andrea, let me know. Okay, so Cheryl, you're type 2. You're on type 2 med already. That is why you weren't sure about buying the trio. Yep, I understand. Well, testimonies would tell me you went as a guest. Okay, Linda. And I think maybe that, yeah. I'm going to help you just figure that out. I'm just going to help you figure it out. The testimonies that come to me, you have to understand, you guys. So I didn't talk about insulin resistance for a really long time because I'm not type 2. And so I talked about hormones in general in a broad conversation. Because things like the purple packet, adaptogenic herbs, helped my hormones so much. And I knew other women needed that too, to not feel like they were crazy anymore in their head and to wonder what's wrong with them all the time. But when I narrowed down to insulin, that one hormone, that's when the response got to be a lot, right? But I felt a lot of imposter syndrome around that because I wasn't type 2. So it wasn't until I started to get all of these amazing people who were on meds and who were then getting off meds and telling me their glucose results of their testing so that I had data. And I went, OMG, this is more amazing than I knew. I already knew that you could bring down your insulin and your sugars and lose weight like that. And in fact, I had already learned that if you didn't, it's almost impossible to lose weight. Because your body's just going to keep burning sugar for fuel and you're never going to get to the fat. You're never going to, and nobody wants weight loss just for weight loss because you could be losing impacted waste and it'll show on the scale. You could be losing water. It'll show on the scale. You could be losing, whatever it does, like toxins and your scale will move. You want fat loss. But if you're insulin resistant, it doesn't work. So I just want you to know that, the testimonies, like if you jump over to IG, there's that pink highlight bubble at the top. Those are the testimonies. And I'm determined to figure out a better way to get testimonies to everybody, because that's when you can see somebody saying that maybe they got off of a med or whatever, because I will never make the claims because I can't, number one. But number two, that's not my story to tell. These are other people's stories. So you have to not take my word for it, but you can get off of things like other people have. So that's kind of just what I want to say about that. Like, look at the testimonies and be encouraged that there's a direction that you can go in. And the Facebook group gives you a track to run on. It's from month to month to month to month. That's what that's doing, so that we can talk about, ingredient trade outs, and to encourage you and to give you repetition. You don't need a lot of information. You need targeted information repeated over time. You don't need a lot. Because remember, this isn't a terminal diagnosis, so you don't need a team of, docs to tell you stuff like her mother, who was, chemo and radiation for a long time. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about something that's very simplistic, but we just have to have basic understanding. We just need targeted, narrow information. I'm a very narrow conversationalist. I talk about one thing and one thing only, and I talk about how to target the supplementation and how to trade out your food ingredients. Super simple, super streamlined. Get a track to run on and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, as your body is turning back, as your body is healing, as you're learning to trade out things, as you're learning to let go of any shame or negative thoughts, as you are learning to stop self-sabotaging, as you are learning those things. And that's how the results can come. That's how we as a community can actually become our own advocate. We take back our bodies. We say no more of only your one answer that does not get me anywhere. I've been listening to your answer for 5 years now. Let's just pretend. And I'm more overweight than I've ever been. All that happens is my meds increase or go up in dosage. And I am tired of the side effects. And I don't like how it's making me feel. Like, these are the things that I just hear for real from you guys in the comments. Oh, Andrea, I did announce the winners yesterday. Susan rolled, because I gave away free trios for June. Susan rolled, hold on, Terry Sorensen and Doreen Doden. Those were the 3 winners of the trio sets that I'm mailing out. So thank you for asking, though. It was our 1 year anniversary in the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. It was the 1 year anniversary. And so I was giving away trio sets to celebrate, because I'm just so grateful. So grateful. This has been so great. So anyway. All right. So Linda, what I'm going to do is I will connect with you here, and we might just need to jump on the phone, and let's see if I can't help you figure that out. Okay. Because if nothing else, what I have had people do, when you check out, so housekeeping, when you place an order on my site, at the very top, there's a person icon. Click on that and register as a customer. Because when you register as a customer with your name, you can check the box for the perks, and then you can get points for your products. Make your routine work for you, because then you can get cash off of future orders as you rack up your points. And if you put it on an auto, like a flex ship, you can get double points. That's double cash off. Very customizable, like crazy customizable. Anyway, and there are no there's no gimmicks to it. It literally is only to serve you. But anyway, and that's called a ditto. And so you can also set up a ditto and have that fire. Having said that, when you check out as a guest, I can't see you. I can't see your name. I can't see your stuff. Now, you may want that, and that's okay. I've shopped at Kohl's many times and I've checked out as a guest, because maybe it's faster, easier, whatever, whatever, no shade on that. However, if you want to be able to get the perks, you want the points, you want a thank you note, those types of things, register with your name. And then I can help you out just a little bit further. Okay. I want to make sure that people get what they want. Get what you came to get. Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump off. Happy 4th of July tomorrow. And if you need anything, always reach out. Always inbox me on IG, message me in my messenger on Facebook. I have a number that is available on TikTok on my profile, or you can also jump over to IG, and everybody should take 5 minutes and go look on IG Even if you don't want to follow me over there, even if you just look at me through a friend's phone because you don't have an IG account, no problem. Just go to me, Kirsten Liebelt on IG. That's where the majority of all the testimonies are for right now. I have to figure out another way, but it's a pink highlight bubble at the top. And you can look through those and see what's happening for other people with the trio. Okay. Because those are the 3 supplements with the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And you got to get your hopes up somewhere. So, okay. All right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. And we will chat with you. I still think I'm coming live tomorrow because I have a thought process, but I am. I just want to make sure it's going to be at the same time. I'm not sure about that yet. So, all right. See you guys later. Have a really good day. See you later. TikTok and Facebook. If you need anything, put it in the comments below and I will come back. And Linda, I'm going to jump off and chat with you first and just see how I can help you. See you later.